Let go of the mouse. A computer technician will tell you that in order for him to do his work, you can't hold on to the mouse. He needs to be in control. Which fool would think to himself, I'm in control? To be mevater means to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in control. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what's best for me. He knows what's best for me, He knows what's best for you, He knows what's best for all of us. And whatever the situation is, that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decided is the situation that I need. Whatever I need, I have. Whatever I have, I need. If we would think like this, then we would never get into any kind of fights. Why? Because of being mevater. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has told us, I'm in control. We're going to listen to a few stories now about people being mevater. We start now with story number 1. Elias and Shia were childhood friends whose lives followed similar paths. They learned in the same yeshiva, got married at around the same time, and began their families within the same year. Even when it was time to earn a living, both entered the accounting field. Elias happened to finish his course 6 months before Shia and landed a job in a reputable accounting firm. Half a year later, however, when his good friend Shia completed the same course, Shia had a hard time finding a job. To help his good friend, Eliezer used his connections at the firm, and Shia was hired. A short time later, a leading manager of the firm announced that he was retiring. Naturally, all the employees submitted their resumes for the newly opened prestigious position. The manager's salary, which is triple the salary of an entry-level employee, definitely added to the incentive to get that coveted position. As he was submitting his resume, Eliezer felt that he had an inside track for the position. After all, he had been in the company for a while already. He had established himself. He certainly had seniority over Shia, since he had started working there 6 months before him. In addition, Shia was only in the company because of him. So if the boss had to choose between the two of them, obviously Eliezer was going to get the job. Or so he thought. The day the announcement was made was perhaps one of the most difficult days of Eliezer's life. Not only did he not get the position, but Shia, the guy that he brought into the business, got the position. His best friend, and the one for whom he had used his connections, was the one who beat him to the job. Now, as big a Baal B'tachon as Eliezer professed to be, this was a major challenge for him. He couldn't deny that he was gripping with pangs of jealousy and some ill feelings towards Shia. As much as he rationalized that Shia had done nothing wrong, it was still a difficult pill for Eliezer to swallow. Nevertheless, Eliezer resolved to keep quiet about his true feelings. He felt that nothing good would come of such a discussion. However difficult, he would just bite his tongue. One day passed, and another day, and Eliezer didn't say a word. He'd often pass Shia's beautiful big office and feel that sensation gripping him, and still not say anything about it to Shia. Day after day, month after month, week after week, year after year, Eliezer didn't breathe a word. True, it wasn't easy on Sundays, but he knew it was the right thing to do. One day, years later, when his eldest child reached marriageable age, a shadchan called Eliezer with a possible suggestion for his son. "Whom do you have in mind?" Eliezer inquired. And the shadchan said, "Shia's daughter." "Which Shia, my good friend?" "Yes." "Well, talk to him first and then get back to me." "He's the one who sent me to you." Eliezer couldn't believe his ears. "You mean he already said yes?" "Yes," said the shadchan, "he's ready to go ahead with the shidduch." Eliezer's wife thought it over and gave the go-ahead. A short while later, the boy and the girl realized that they were a shidduch, and it came time for Eliezer and his wife to formally meet with his friend and soon to be mechutim. He was a bit nervous about the meeting. After all, those feelings of resentment were still inside of him. He had been working years to go against those feelings, but they were there. As reintroduced themselves, and made small talk, Shia turned to Eliezer with a serious look on his face. Eliezer understood that he wanted to tell him something important. "You should know," Shia said, "from the day I received my promotion, I started saving. The salary provided more than my daily expenses, so I figured I'd put some extra money aside. All these years, I built a nice amount of money for the day I would be zocher to marry off my children. Eliezer, our children have nothing to worry about. Baruch Hashem, I saved a significant amount of money, and now it's for our children to use." Eliezer sat there dumbfounded. How should I react? His mind was thinking, all these years I was convinced it was a bad thing that Shia got the promotion. But Hashem was taking care of me better than I could ever take care of myself. I would never have the discipline and the foresight to save that extra money. And had I even said one word all these years about my resentment, Shia would never have been interested in the shidduch. So in essence, Hashem did give me the promotion.
Rachel mevaka al baneha, Rachel mevaka al baneha, al baneha, Rachel mevaka. Rachel mevaka al baneha, Rachel mevaka al baneha.
Story, and the last one for this Erev Tisha B'Av. Many years ago, there lived a young boy named Yehuda, whose greatness in Torah was already celebrated when he was still in his teens. When Yehuda was only 15 years old, he was read a shidduch with Peril, the daughter of Reb Shmelka. Reb Shmelka was a highly respected balabas, or wealthy man. Both sides agreed that the young couple would marry in 3 years when Yehuda turned 18. Until then, Yehuda would learn in yeshiva in a different town. However, before those 3 years were up, Reb Shmelka lost all his money, and he could no longer afford the dowry that he had promised. At the time, it was inconceivable to marry without a dowry. Parnas' situation was so dire, it was practically impossible to survive without this money. So, sadly, Rav Shmelka wrote a letter to Yehuda, telling him of this change of circumstances, informing him that he were to understand were he to break off the shidduch and look for another girl. After all, Yehuda was the prize catch. And Rav Shmelka realized that other men would grab at the opportunity to have such a gifted bachur marry their daughter. But Yehuda wouldn't hear of it. In a letter he sent back to Rav Shmelka, he said he was prepared to wait until Rav Shmelka made the money back. He wrote further that if Peril wanted to marry somebody else, she could and he would understand. However, he was soon told that Peril was also willing to wait. And so the waiting began. Days became weeks, months became years, yet Rav Shmelka's financial situation did not improve. People urged both Yehuda and Peril to consider other shidduchim, claiming they were not getting any younger, things weren't looking any better, so what were they waiting for? Still, Yehuda said that he was destined to marry Peril. He would not want to break the heart of a Bas Yisrael, and the feelings were mutual. Peril insisted that she would not give up the privilege of marrying such a good bachur, one she felt was worth waiting for. So they continued to wait and wait. Now, to supplement the family income, Peril sold fresh baked goods, which brought in a meager living. 10 years after she was supposed to have married Yehuda, a war broke out, and soldiers passed through the city. A soldier on horseback passed by Peril's store, and in an act of just being mean, he pierced the rolls featured in the storefront with his spear. Horrified, Peril cried to the soldier, "Every penny she makes from these rolls goes towards supporting her poor family. He has no right to do this." Her cries aroused the pity of the soldier, and he stopped for a minute to look for some coins with which to compensate her. He couldn't find any, so he gave her one of the cushions he was sitting on as collateral. "If I don't go back in 2 days, let this be considered payment," he told her. After 2 days, he didn't come back. He had been killed in action. When she took the cushion to see if it was worth anything, she noticed there was a hole. Suddenly, gold coins started falling out. She realized that she had just become the owner of a great fortune, and she excitedly ran to share the good news with her parents. Rav Shvelka immediately told Yehuda that he now had money, and the wedding between Yehuda and Peril was a joyous event celebrated along with the entire town. Now, Klal Yisrael has benefited from this sacrifice, as together Yehuda and Peril built a home of Torah. Yehuda went on to become the famous Rabbi Yehuda Lowy, also known as the Maharal Prague. Not only was the Maharal a tremendous Talmid Chacham, he was a tremendous Baal Midos. He would not do anything that would hurt the feelings of a Bas Yisrael. He was willing to be mevater on his own life, waiting years and years and years and years, but he didn't want to disappoint somebody else.